Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Serena Williams' former coach sends out a fierce response against Naomi Osaka criticism after Montreal fiasco. Naomi Osaka's emotional week at the Canadian Open ended with both triumph and controversy. The former world #1's journey to the finals marked a significant step in her comeback, but a post-match speech that ignored her teenage opponent sparked fierce criticism from tennis fans worldwide. Now, a legendary coach who shaped the Williams sisters' careers is defending Osaka's actions, saying the backlash has gone too far. Why does Rick Macci believe Naomi Osaka deserves grace after her controversial speech? Despite making the finals of the just-concluded Canadian Open, the resurgent Osaka had far from an ideal week. Online tennis fans piled on her following a controversial moment after a heartbreaking loss to Canadian teen sensation Victoria Mboko. In a rushed and brief post-match speech, Osaka made no mention of her opponent, Victoria Mboko's game, riling up tennis fans across social media platforms. However, Rick Macci, a veteran coach best known for guiding Venus and Serena Williams during their formative years, has argued that Osaka should be forgiven for her conduct, as her defeat was fresh out of the oven. Taking to X, where he has a sizable following, Macci said that people should pump the brakes on their criticism of the former world #1. Everybody has to pump the brakes on Osaka, a female athlete, and her speech. Macci, 70, said, "Has anybody seen an NBA or NFL game after a heated combat?" He asked. Some athletes give the boilerplate response and say all the right things. Some say whatever because the thoughts and dots are not connected yet as defeat is still fresh out of the oven. Macci brings unique credibility to this defense. As a 7-time USPTA National Coach of the Year, he has trained several #1 ranked players, including Andy Roddick, Jennifer Capriati, Maria Sharapova, and the Williams sisters. His experience with athletes in high-pressure moments gives weight to his perspective that immediate post-competition reactions shouldn't be judged too harshly. How did Osaka respond to the mounting criticism over her speech? Amid the ongoing controversy, Osaka took to her Threads account to apologize for the incident. She wrote, "Thank you, Montreal. It's been an incredible few weeks. I also want to apologize and congratulate Victoria. You played amazingly, and especially, you have a fantastic career ahead. I realized I didn't congratulate you on the court." Osaka explained that she did not wish to deliver a nervous speech like the one she delivered after winning Indian Wells in 2018. She also did not want to deliver a raw emotional outburst like Jennifer Capriati after she lost against Kim Clijsters after being up a set and a break at the 2001 French Open. She wrote on Threads, "Honestly, I was stunned and completely focused on not giving the same speech as in Indian Wells 2018 or in Jenny/Jennifer situation, so I tried to keep it as short as possible." What does this Canadian Open performance mean for Osaka's comeback journey? Beyond the speech controversy, Osaka's resurgence in Montreal came after a challenging period that saw the Japanese player step away from the sport in 2022 following the U.S. Open due to mental health concerns. She later announced her pregnancy and returned to competition in 2024, but struggled to recapture the dominance that defined her earlier career. The finals appearance represents her best result since returning to professional tennis. Following her performance in Canada, Osaka has risen 24 spots to #25 in the world rankings. This ranking jump demonstrates that despite the disappointment of losing the final, her week in Montreal achieved its primary goal of moving her back toward the top tier of women's tennis. However, she has withdrawn from the Cincinnati Open, which began on the same day that she competed against Mboko for the Canadian Open title. The quick turnaround between tournaments likely influenced her decision to skip Cincinnati and focus on recovery. Renaissance in the racket. There are moments in sport when all logic seems to fall away, and raw emotion takes over. A moment when heartbreak and elation collide under the glaring lights, and words fail before the echoes settle. That is precisely what happened in Montreal. Naomi Osaka, emerging from a tumultuous period marked by pregnancy, mental health hiatuses, and coaching changes, had stormed into the 2025 Canadian Open final. Yet her speech, short, brusque, and notably missing any mention of the champion she had just fallen to, sent ripples through the tennis world. Critics sharpened their pens, fans took to social media. But then came an unexpected champion, not on the court, but off it. Rick Matchie, the man who had nurtured the raw talent of Serena and Venus Williams, rose to her defense. For those unfamiliar, Matchie isn't just any coach. He embodies the crucible where legends are forged. His words weren't shielded by spin or softened by politeness. They were fierce, candid, and necessary. Everybody has to pump the brakes on Osaka. Defeat is still fresh out of the oven. PFSN, in that simple metaphor, he captured modern sport in microcosm, the furnace of competition that leaves hearts pounding and thoughts scattered. It's unfair to expect poetic farewells at the very moment agony blossoms. A tale of two speeches. It's easy to forget that Osaka's Montreal misstep was rooted not in malice, but in trauma. Those years of defending against an invisible opponent, mental unrest, societal expectations, motherhood in the public eye. Osaka herself admitted she was in a daze, too focused on avoiding past mistakes to acknowledge present grace. India Today. PFSN. Her apology on Threads was raw and human. I was stunned. Try to keep it as short as possible. PFSN. Her words, unvarnished and vulnerable, spoke more than any rehearsed tribute ever could. The coach's creed. Matchie didn't stop there. He took to X and reminded the tennis world, instead of blaming the fallen, ask whether the coach tried hard enough. You need to compete harder to find the right buttons to push. PFSN. It's a fierce inversion of blame. In that moment, he didn't just defend a player. He reasserted a core truth, that coaching is a duel of wills, and athletes don't compete alone. From fire to flight. Does that defense absolve Osaka? No, but it reframes the story. She's not a villain, but a phoenix. A woman finding footing in a tumultuous terrain, burdened by legacy and expectation. Matchie's defense isn't about excuses. It's about context, empathy, and recognizing that courage isn't always conspicuous. And there's a deeper arc here. The shift in Osaka's energy post-split with Patrick Mouratoglou, marked by newfound freedom in footwork, looser rallies, and a lighter spirit. Tennis head. That, too, is triumph rising from error. What truly matters? Sport isn't just about trophies. It's about humanity. It's about the raw edges that only appear in defeat. Osaka's moment in Montreal wasn't perfect, but it was real. Rick Matchie's response wasn't just defense. It was a mirror held up to society. Impatience and perfectionism must yield to patience and resilience. In his words, we're reminded that healing takes time, and grace must follow grief. Because in sport, as in life, it's not just about how we win, but how we rise afterward.